Every time I see him, honestly, I sit there and I think, oh my God, these people don't realize they're listening to a huge star right now. You know, give him donations or whatever. I'm like, this kid is worth billions. It just amazes me.
"20 schools from all over the state of Wisconsin have packed inside this gymnasium.
Got costume changes, lots of sparkles, a lot of hairspray and poofy hair,
Big, big hair.
a lot of pizza,
Glitter.
a lot of late nights and weekends. You'd be surprised at how many people do not know what show choir is. Show choir is basically just a group of kids who have the common interest in singing and dancing and performing.
So the rules are you perform a show that's 25 minutes or less.
There's usually a judging panel.
They will judge each group on vocals, choreography, band, visuals, and performance.
You need to extremely focus and stay clean, stay sharp, stay on the move, stay on the count, know what you're doing.
Some show choirs will practice from August all the way to March.
We had Hell Week, which is basically we did 9 to 9 from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Monday through Friday to learn our show. And we put in over 100 hours from August until September before school even started.
They were super intense.
The amount of energy is so overwhelming.
And it's a big community.
Only the top 6 groups with the most points will make it into finals, and a grand champion will be crowned by the end of the night.
I loved it. I thought it was super fun.
Wow, that is completely awesome. I want to do that.
I started, and I remember the dance camp that I went to. At the end of that, I was like, I'm done, no more, I'm not doing this.
In the small town of Sauk Prairie, one boy has been asked to join the middle school's show choir.
They're like, you're signing up for show choir, you have to do it, you have to do it. And I was like, no, I'm way too cool for that. I'm a football player, and I'm not singing and dancing. That's ridiculous. Why would I ever do that?
Sam Ness, 14 years old at the time, was a troublemaker and a student who the teachers thought was capable of so much more.
They're like, what do we do about this kid? How do we get him to care about anything? So when the choir teacher stepped up and he's like, yeah, right, maybe we can get him in choir, and then if we can get him to care about that, maybe he'll, branch out and start maybe taking a bit more responsibility and everything else. I had no intention of really sticking with it until we went to our first competition in New London. And I remember being right in the front under the stage watching the high school perform. The soloist, he was right up in front. He had the leather gloves and the leather jacket, and he's yelling into a microphone, and I thought that was just the coolest thing, and that really struck me,
Why'd you choose the backwards stabbing so if you don't, you change your wood and brings the whole nation. It's running for BC and no mass communication.
That's so cool. He can have that whole audience just in the palm of his hand, and they're hanging on to every word that he says. I was like, I want to do that. That's what I want to be like.
He decided he wanted to audition for Executive Session, the high school show choir whose past music instructors had left a legacy in the show choir world. And to his complete surprise, he made it.
Again, step, kick, lead, kick, touch, again.
I don't think that I could have done a better first high school show than Chorus Line. The kind of family that I found in the Executive Session was overwhelming. They had just such a presence that I didn't have as this awkward little freshman. I wanted to be them, and I wanted to, be that guy right down in the front row, doing every bit right that no one can stop watching.
He seemed so confident. If you would have asked me, oh, how long has that guy been on stage? And I would have said he's been in classes and acting and singing and stuff since he's been in diapers.
During his junior year, Sam had landed the big solo in their show Hair. After wowing audiences, and being awarded Best Male Vocalist, the new star was sweeping crowds off their feet.
We were starting to go to different competitions where people wanted to get their picture with me and they wanted to have me sign things.
I just remember like everybody was in love with him. Like I remember all the moms being like, he's got such a nice body and like all this stuff like that.
Sam had been pushing himself to try more. He had practiced hard his sophomore year as the understudy to Danny in the show Grease. In the end, his hard work had paid off.
My mom and I saw him performing and my mom goes, Morgan, we need to find him and we need to like talk to him and say hello to him. And I'm like, Mom, please stop. My mom saw him from like across the cafeteria and she just goes like, oh, you did so well on your solo, honey, like good job. Have you done anything, like you need to try out for American Idol, like you are so good and all this stuff. And I'm just sitting there and I'm like, yeah, I didn't even know why I came.
With help from show choir, Sam's passions for music began to build. He was participating in musicals, singing in a cappella groups, and even booking his own open mic nights. But with only getting 3 hours of sleep every night, Sam's grades began to slip.
That's when my parents said, like, that's enough, you're not doing these open mics anymore. And I said, yeah, I am. Like, that's the only thing that I live for right now. That's when I think I really took on the persona of the musician because I didn't care about anything else besides the music at that point. I remember one night, said, give us your guitar, get out. I said, see ya. I grabbed my guitar and off I went, and I think I slept in the truck that night, and from then on out I was spending as much time as I could sleeping at friends' house and trying to stay away from the house so that they couldn't get their hands on my guitar. Looking back, I know that they just wanted what was best for me, but at the time, the only thing that I had was the music.
Sam took pride in his new passion for being a musician. But when circumstances eventually made him return home, Sam began to sink into depression.
I'd just come home and I'd sit in the room and basically zone out and sit in my own depression and stare at the ceiling. And I did that for way too long. I was doing that for months and I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't writing. I had no passion for playing. I had no passion for the music anymore. The solo that I had was called I Got Life. And it's about, this hippie, he didn't have anything. He didn't need anything because he had life. And he had, his fingers and hands and arms and head and hair and everything and didn't need anything else. And that's all he needed to be happy. And so like singing that solo, like it made me feel good. It's like, I got life. That's all I need. I think that's why, I needed that solo because it taught myself something.
Sam let go of his depression and began exploring the music within himself.
I wrote just so much music coming out of that, like about what I wanted to be and wanting to find peace on my own.
Empowered by his music, the singer's strength shined on stage as he claimed yet another solo in his senior show, Aida. Soon, his talent was recognized.
I'm sitting there messing around with my friends and I just heard Sam Ness. And I'm like, wait, what? What did he say? Like, what's going on? And everyone turns towards me and starts clapping. And they're like, go up to the stage, go up there. I was like, what is this? And I got up there and he shakes my hand, says, congratulations, let's talk about this a little bit later. And I was like, okay. And come to find out that it was a scholarship to go study in Wyoming.
And the opportunities just kept coming. Sam received a phone call from a show choir judge who gave him 2 more options to study in Nashville and Boston. The problem was, she wanted an answer by the end of the week.
How are you supposed to, do that? It's like, how am I supposed to decide what I'm going to do with the next 50 years this week? And so I went hiking one night, and I was sitting up on Gibraltar Rock, and I was smoking a cigar and drinking a beer, watching the sun go down, and I was trying to weigh my options really. And it's like, do I go and be a songwriter in Nashville? Do I go and be try to be a Broadway star in New York City? Do I try to be a movie star in Los Angeles? Do I just go to Wyoming and work for a while and save up money so that I can figure out what I want to do and then go to one of these bigger schools. And I'm like sitting there and the sun's going down. I'm like, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? And then like this little voice in the back of my head, it's like, you know what, if you don't know what you're gonna do, don't decide. Like, take some time off and figure out what you want to do. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to Europe.
Determined to backpack his way across to Europe, Sam made a donation page. A few days later, he receives a call.
And this woman says, I'm so-and-so's mom, and I'd really like to help you out. And yeah, she goes, all right, well, when did you think about leaving? I said, well, I think September 8th maybe. And she goes, well, how about the 5th? Said, all right, yeah, I could leave that day too. She goes, okay, I just booked your ticket. And I just stood there. I was like, what do you say? You know, like, how do you respond to that?
The woman was actually Morgan's mom. Morgan had shown the post to her mother one day, but had not known what her mother would do.
I was very surprised when she told me, like, I didn't, you know, she like was like, I brought his plane ticket. And I was like, oh, like you really did. Like you really bought the plane ticket. So I think it's just because all she's ever wanted to do growing up was sing, is why she just wants kids with that talent to like get a chance.
She said, I really believe in what you're doing. I remember seeing you perform, and I think that you have a lot of things that you can do with your life. Said, I want to help you out. Said, if you get any problems, you give me a call and we'll fly you back.
All the puzzle pieces had finally slid into place. Now, it was up to Sam to take the leap and do it.
I was sitting there and I just started kind of sitting there tearing up to myself, and I called my dad for the last time. He's like, how you doing, buddy? And I was like, not good. I'm freaking out, you know? I don't know what I'm doing. What if this isn't the right choice? What if this? And he said, breathe. He's like, just breathe, relax, like you got this. And I was like, all right.
With only $200, no plans, a stranger's plane ticket, and his guitar strapped to his back, Sam flew to Europe for the adventure of his life.
I know that somewhere out there there's a place that I'll call home. I don't know where that is yet or how long I'm gonna roam, but I'm gonna roam. I can see it there, it calls to me, a little rowboat beside the sea. It calls to me, and it calls to me.
I think the fact that he had the idea and said it was what he wanted to do and that he followed through with it that's like phenomenal.
When you take away every other variable except for you and then throw you into a whole new set of rules, you figure out how you react. And I was surprised with my own answers to things and my own ways of thinking after learning different cultures and learning different mindsets. It really made me more of an individual than I ever was here.
Now, the independent musician is following his dreams back in Wisconsin, and he likes to sing stories of lands far from here. Tira Jackson, a local community member, was an immediate fan from the start.
The first time I heard him, like I said, it was a sound that I've only heard once or twice in my life. He was absolutely born with this gift, and it's his gift to the world. And it's so really, really impacts people more, I think, than he even knows. It just really opens up my creativity more, even as an artist, and it's so inspiring. I really wish I would have tried show choir and that stuff. I was one of the kids that was too shy to do that. All this amazing talent comes out and it helps them further in their life and their careers, even with public speaking or speaking in general or interviews or just kind of building that confidence in themselves. I would just hate to see those programs squashed in any way. I think it's just absolutely so important for kids to just give it a shot, give it a try, and you know, you never know what you can do.
Show choir for me and the musicals both, like, not only were just a hobby, I mean, it taught me about how you can't grow and you can't change without taking risks, like healthy risks that are scary and terrifying. And once I learned that through school, you know, it applied to my whole life, and I feel like I learned so much through these lessons. They were just the lessons that I needed. My goal is just to keep living life absolutely to the fullest and get every crazy experience that I can possibly get.
Where Sam goes next may be uncertain, but it is a risk that he is willing to make.